In a small, bustling village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there lived a young woman named Amina. Her beauty was the talk of the town, but it was her kindness that truly set her apart. Amina's family, however, was not known for their humility. They were wealthy, influential, and deeply concerned with their social standing. They had grand plans for Amina's future plans that did not include love, especially not the kind of love that would lead her to a life of poverty. But fate, as it often does, had other plans. This is the story of how Amina's life took an unexpected turn, a turn that would teach her family and the entire village a lesson about love, humility, and the true meaning of wealth. The story. Amina was the youngest daughter of the wealthy merchant, Al-Haji Bello. Her father was a man of great influence in the village, known for his shrewd business acumen and his even sharper tongue. Her mother, Hajia Fatima, was a socialite who prided herself on her family's status. Together, they had raised Amina and her two older sisters with one goal in mind, to marry them off to wealthy, influential men who would further elevate the family's standing. But Amina was different. She had always been a dreamer, a girl who found joy in the simple things like the way the sun danced on the river's surface or the sound of the wind rustling through the trees. She was kind-hearted, often sneaking food to the beggars who sat by the market square, much to her parents' dismay. One fateful day, as Amina was returning from the market, she noticed a beggar sitting by the roadside. He was unlike any beggar she had ever seen. His clothes were tattered, but there was a certain dignity in the way he carried himself. His eyes, though weary, sparkled with a hidden light. Amina, moved by compassion, approached him and offered him the bread she had bought for her family. "Thank you, kind lady," the beggar said, his voice soft but filled with gratitude. "May Allah bless you for your kindness." Amina smiled. "It is nothing," she replied. "I only wish I could do more." From that day on, Amina made it a habit to bring the beggar food whenever she passed by. They would talk for hours, sharing stories and dreams. The beggar, who introduced himself as Musa, was well-spoken and wise. He spoke of distant lands, of love and loss, and of the importance of humility. Amina found herself drawn to him, not out of pity, but out of genuine affection. As the days turned into weeks, Amina's feelings for Musa grew stronger. She knew her family would never approve, but she couldn't deny what her heart was telling her. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Musa took Amina's hand and looked into her eyes. "Amina," he said, his voice trembling with emotion, "I have nothing to offer you but my love. I am a beggar, with no wealth or status. But if you will have me, I promise to love and cherish you for the rest of my days." Tears welled up in Amina's eyes. She knew that marrying Musa would mean turning her back on her family, on everything she had ever known. But she also knew that she couldn't imagine a life without him. "Yes," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I will marry you." When Amina's family learned of her decision, they were furious. Her father disowned her on the spot, declaring that she was no longer his daughter. Her mother wept, begging her to reconsider, but Amina stood firm. She packed her few belongings and left her family's opulent home to start a new life with Musa. The village was abuzz with gossip. How could Amina, the beautiful daughter of Al-Haji Bello, throw her life away on a beggar? But Amina paid no heed to the whispers. She was happy, truly happy, for the first time in her life. Life with Musa was not easy. They lived in a small, run-down hut on the outskirts of the village. Amina had to learn how to cook, clean, and mend clothes, tasks she had never had to do before. But she didn't mind. She was with the man she loved, and that was all that mattered. Months passed, and Amina's family made no attempt to reconcile with her. They had washed their hands of her, convinced that she had brought shame upon them. But then, one day, everything changed. It was a sunny morning, and Amina was at the market, buying vegetables for their evening meal. As she haggled with the vendor, she heard a commotion behind her. Turning around, she saw a group of men on horseback, their clothes rich and their demeanor regal. At the head of the group was a man who looked strangely familiar. It was Musa. But this was not the Musa she knew. This Musa was dressed in fine robes, his beard neatly trimmed, his eyes shining with confidence. The villagers gasped as they recognized him. He was none other than Al-Haji Musa, the billionaire philanthropist who had been traveling the world, helping the poor and needy. Amina's heart raced as Musa dismounted from his horse and approached her. He took her hands in his and looked into her eyes. "Amina," he said, his voice filled with love, "I have a confession to make. I am not the beggar you thought I was. I am a wealthy man, but I have spent years living among the poor, learning their struggles and their needs. I wanted to find someone who would love me for who I am, not for my wealth. And I found that someone in you." Tears streamed down Amina's face as she realized the truth. Musa had been testing her, not out of malice, but out of a desire to find true love. And she had passed his test with flying colors. Musa turned to the crowd that had gathered around them. "This woman," he declared, "is my wife. She loved me when I had nothing, and now that I have everything, I will spend the rest of my life making sure she wants for nothing." The villagers erupted into cheers, but Amina's family stood in stunned silence. They had disowned their daughter, only to discover that she had married one of the wealthiest men in the land. Overcome with guilt and shame, they approached Amina, begging for her forgiveness. Amina, ever kind-hearted, forgave them. But she made it clear that her loyalty lay with Musa, the man who had shown her the true meaning of love and humility. From that day on, Amina and Musa lived a life of happiness and prosperity. They used their wealth to help the poor and needy, building schools, hospitals, and shelters for those in need. And though they had more than enough to live a life of luxury, they never forgot the lessons they had learned during their time as beggars. As for Amina's family, they learned a valuable lesson about the dangers of pride and the importance of humility. They became kinder, more compassionate people, and they worked hard to rebuild their relationship with Amina. And so, the story of Amina and Musa became a legend in the village, a tale of love, humility, and the true meaning of wealth. It was a story that would be told for generations, reminder that true happiness cannot be bought, but must be earned through love, kindness, and humility. The tale of Amina and Musa is more than just a story of love and wealth, it is a lesson in humility and the true value of human connection. In a world where material wealth often takes precedence over emotional richness, this folktale serves as a poignant reminder that the greatest treasures in life are not gold or jewels, but the love and kindness we share with others. Amina's journey from disowned daughter to beloved wife of a billionaire is a testament to the power of love and the importance of staying true to oneself, no matter the circumstances. It is a story that will captivate viewers, leaving them with a lasting impression and a renewed appreciation for the simple, yet profound, joys of life. After the revelation of Musa's true identity, life in the village changed dramatically. The once skeptical villagers now looked up to Amina and Musa with admiration and respect. They became the village's benefactors, using their wealth to improve the lives of everyone around them. They built a school where children could receive an education, regardless of their family's financial status. They established a clinic that provided free healthcare to the sick and elderly. They even created a community center where people could gather, share stories, and support one another. Amina's family, humbled by their daughter's success and the kindness she and Musa showed to the community, began to change their ways. Al-Haji Bello, once a proud and stubborn man, started to see the error of his ways. He realized that true wealth was not measured by the size of one's bank account, but by the love and respect one earned from others. Hajia Fatima, too, learned to value kindness over social status, and she became an active participant in the village's charitable activities. Amina's sisters, who had once looked down on her for marrying a beggar, now sought her advice and guidance. They too had been raised to value wealth and status above all else, but Amina's example showed them that there was more to life than material possessions. They began to volunteer at the school and clinic, and over time, they too found happiness in helping others. As the years passed, Amina and Musa's love story became the stuff of legend. It was told and retold, each time with a little more embellishment, but the core message remained the same: true love knows no bounds, and true wealth is found in the heart. The village, once divided by class and status, became a close-knit community where everyone looked out for one another. The school that Amina and Musa built produced some of the brightest minds in the region, many of whom went on to become doctors, teachers, and leaders in their own right. The clinic saved countless lives, and the community center became a hub of cultural and social activity. Amina and Musa's legacy lived on long after they were gone. Their descendants continued their work, ensuring that the village remained a place of kindness, humility, and love. And every year, on the anniversary of their wedding, the villagers would gather to celebrate their love story, a reminder to all that true happiness is found not in what we have, but in who we love and how we treat others. The story of Amina and Musa is a timeless tale that transcends generations and cultures. It teaches us that love is the greatest wealth of all, and that true happiness comes from within. It reminds us to look beyond appearances and to value people for who they are, not for what they have. And it shows us that kindness and humility can transform not only our own lives, but the lives of those around us. In a world that often values material wealth over emotional richness, the story of Amina and Musa is a beacon of hope. It shows us that no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always a chance for love, for redemption, and for a better tomorrow. It is a story that will continue to inspire and captivate, a reminder that the greatest treasures in life are the ones we carry in our hearts. The tale of Amina and Musa is more than just a story of love and wealth. It is a lesson in humility and the true value of human connection. In a world where material wealth often takes precedence over emotional richness, this folktale serves as a poignant reminder that the greatest treasures in life are not gold or jewels, but the love and kindness we share with others.